Hi, I'm Rod Martin, Chairman and CEO of Voya Financial. To say that society has experienced one of the most difficult years in recent history would be an understatement. The ability of students and teachers to continue to work and remain focused on education during the pandemic is nothing short of remarkable. And for that alone, each of you and others like you around the United States are to be commended. I want to congratulate all of the participants in this year's challenge. Those of you here today have come a long way in the past several weeks to make it to the final competition. I don't envy the job that the judges will have in selecting the winner. Understanding personal finance and how it affects your day-to-day life is an essential first step to achieving financial health as an adult. What you've learned throughout the challenge will serve you well in the years ahead. At Voya, our vision is to be America's retirement company. We want to help everyone plan for a sound financial future to and through retirement. And as the past has shown, thoughtful planning is essential to preparing for unexpected situations that could arise during your life. The mission of both the Council and the challenge align with our commitment to the financial health of all Americans. Those of you that have made it to the challenge finals may be a long way from retirement, but I applaud your interest and preparation by becoming educated about financial planning. That's why Voya invests in our communities in a way to ensure that all young adults are equipped with the knowledge necessary to compete in the 21st century workforce and make smart financial decisions. I want to acknowledge the incredible work of the educators who hold these same beliefs. Your leadership has not gone unnoticed. Thank you for all that you do to prepare our youth. Voya has a long history of supporting the work of educators in and out of the classroom to develop today's youth into tomorrow's leaders. Our sponsorship of this challenge, including the resources that Voya has provided for the Council's financial literacy curriculum, is just one example of our commitment to education. Through our signature program, Unsung Heroes, we also award $140,000 in grants to educators across the country who have innovative ideas to enhance learning. And for the students, including those of you participating in today's challenge, we have Voya Scholars. This is our higher education, scholarship, and career readiness program. Each of you are eligible to apply for one of our $10,000 scholarships and the opportunity to help with networking and mentoring, resume drafting, and preparing for internships and job interviews. The Council can provide additional information about these and other programs following the competition. So let me end here and let the competition begin. Good luck to all of the students and my heartfelt thanks for the teachers and your unwavering commitment.
Hello, I'm Dr. Jennifer Davidson, and it is my honor to congratulate you on two things, truly, making it to the National Personal Finance Challenge. And what that means is not only were you the state champion in your home state, but then you also were in the top 24 teams that made it through the national semifinals. So congratulations, a huge congratulations to each and every one of you that have made it this far in the competition. We're so proud of you. So with that, my job today is to just give you some instructions and a better understanding of what to expect during the June 3rd National Personal Finance Challenge. So let's get started. First off, I want to say that the National Personal Finance Challenge is a program of the Council for Economic Education. So CEE is the premier organization that provides economic and financial education for both teachers and students. They have a nationwide network of affiliates that provide economic and financial education. They're a wonderful organization, and I'm thrilled to be part of it. Sponsoring today's event, signature sponsor Voya Financial. Oh my goodness, we wouldn't be here without their support. So a huge, huge thank you and shout out to our friends at Voya. All right, so let's talk about what to expect. All these times are in Eastern time, first of all, so let's start there. What I want to say is, this is a national competition, so make sure you're looking at this is Eastern time and translate that into whatever time zone you're in. So What this is going to look like is essentially we're going to have teams logging into their Zoom, the link that you're going to receive at your assigned time. And these are going to run subsequently in about half-hour intervals. So we have 24 teams competing, and we're going to have 4 teams logging in each half an hour. So the first teams will log in around 9:25, just to make sure we have things rolling, and the team has everything they need, with their work time beginning about 9:30 Eastern time. The next set of teams at 9:55 to start at 10, and so on and so forth. Judging, then, the first round of judging will begin at about 11:30 Eastern time. So these first teams will be finishing up their 2 hours of work time, and I'll explain this, and then they'll go see their judges around 11:30. When you are done with that, when you've moved through the process, so you've had your 2 hours of work time, you've presented, you can then log off of the Zoom, and we're going to have everybody come back at 3 p.m. and we'll do the announcements to see who those top 4 teams are that get to move on to the finals round. You'll present again to a different panel of judges, and from there we'll crown our national champions. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about the instructions and the rules. So everybody's working off of the same set. We all know what to expect. Okay, so essentially how this works is you're going to get a fictitious family scenario, a case study. You're going to get it when your work time begins. You're going to have a proctor, they're going to drop it in the chat, and that's going to start your timer. You'll have about an hour and 55 minutes to work and put together your financial plan for the family. And then you'll have about 5 minutes to submit your presentation. You can use whatever software you want, whatever you're comfortable with. You can use Google Slides, PowerPoint, whatever it is that you want to use in terms of preparing your presentation. You can use the internet. So if you have research you want to do, you have the internet available to you. You can use calculators, scratch paper. However, you may not use personal finance textbooks or assistance from anyone other than your teammates. So know that there will be a proctor in your Zoom breakout room with you for the entire working time, just to ensure we're having this fair competition. So every team will be in their own breakout room. You'll have your 2 hours to work, and there'll be a proctor there to do 2 things so that we can say it's a fair process and everybody is doing what they're supposed to do, and to help you, to provide you with time reminders, and so that you have easily accessible someone that you can ask questions of. All right, so the proctor then that will be monitoring your room will remind you of the time. They'll give you a 1 hour left, 30 minutes left, 10 minutes left, and then they'll remind you to stop and submit your presentation. As soon as your presentation is submitted, you will immediately move to your presentation room and present to your judges. You'll get to control your slides, so know that you will actually control your own slides, but you will have to turn in that your slides as well. So not only will you submit it to us, but you will also present from your own slide. So you won't have to say next slide or anything like that. You'll be able to push the button on your own. All right, in the event you make it to the finals round, you will again present. It's the same presentation, so you don't have to put together an entire additional anything. It's the same presentation, you'll do it again. And we're gonna compare that original presentation that you submitted to the finals round. So you can't make any edits between those two if you're one of those 4 awesome, amazing teams that make it to the finals round. It's the same exact slides and presentations. Okay. Moving on, this is the slide. I'm going to put my serious face on. Breaking any of these rules will result in disqualification. And so we're going to have 0 tolerance. We don't expect any cheating. Of course, you guys are all amazing students. You're state champions. You've made it this far. We don't expect it. But I just want to lay out what the expectations are and what the consequences are so that we're all on the same page. So breaking any of these rules, using any resources that are not allowed, having any slides already half prepared, and utilizing them for their presentation. None of that is allowed. Leaving your breakout room in the middle of the session where we won't know where you went or who you talked to. None of that's going to be allowed. And we're going to, unfortunately, zero tolerance. This is a big competition, and we expect everybody to meet the standard. So do not attempt to communicate with anyone other than your teammates and your proctor. Disclaimer, even the appearance of impropriety will result in disqualification. Again, zero tolerance of cheating of any kind. So there's the inevitable question of, what if I have to go to the restroom? It is a 2-hour window that you're working and then 20 minutes or so of presenting. So my strong suggestion is go to the restroom before you log on to start your work time. All right. So with that, again, we don't expect any, we haven't had any in the past. You're all amazing students, but these are the standards and you know the consequences. All right, moving on. Let me talk about judging and how that's going to work. So each of the teams have been randomly assigned to their judging room. In each of these 4 different judging rooms, you'll have 4 to 5 judges. These are all certified financial planners, they're bankers, they're finance content specialists, so they know what they're talking about. They're all volunteers from either our sponsors or the regular supporters of state councils across the US. There is at least one, more than one generally, but at least one veteran designated head judge in each room. So they've been through this, they're seasoned, they know what they're doing. They are the ones that are going to ensure that all of the judges are on the same page. They are the ones that are going to ensure unanimously that you're selected, whoever is selected to move on to the next round. So that is one of the criteria of the judges, is that they have to unanimously decide which one team that they are seeing from each presentation room will move on to the final. So we have 4 rooms of judges. Each room will select the one team to move on to the final 4. The decisions of the judges is 100% final. Know that. There will be a room proctor timer in each of the presentation rooms as well. So when you're done with your 2 hours, you get moved to your judges, there will be somebody there to also give you cues in terms of timing. So your presentations can be a max of 15 minutes. The timer will signal at 10 minutes, at 14 minutes, and then they're gonna stop you at that 15-minute mark. And judges will then have time to ask you questions for up to 5 minutes. Okay, so what are they looking for in terms of the judging process? This is a personal finance competition. 80% of the criteria is your knowledge of personal finance. So you're displaying that you understand the content and the concepts that you're talking about in terms of personal finance. So that's by far the biggest piece, is content knowledge. There's another 10% is teamwork displayed, so all team members should be participating in the presentation. And then the final 10% is presentation and communication skills, including dress. So it's a professional competition, and I encourage you to look the part. Also, speak clearly, voice projection. If you're using notes, and you're welcome to use notes, but you're using them as an aid and not necessarily reading from your notes. So I wanted to ensure you had an understanding of the judging rubric and the criteria that the judges are looking for. All right, as far as competition day, your Zoom room proctors will provide you the case study via a link in the chat. So you'll arrive, you'll get moved into your breakout room, and then they'll give you the case study. It'll just be a link. We'll ensure that it opens for you, that there's no issues, and then your time will start for the hour 55. Watch your time, but know you have that proctor there to help you and to give you periodic reminders. You can always ask. You can ask your proctor any questions at all. They're not going to help you in terms of content, but they will help you in terms of expectations and flow and timing. So with that, I want to say best of luck. You have made it this far. You're already a winner and state champion. So best of luck in the National Personal Finance Challenge competition. One last request that we have: social media, do it. Right now, when you're watching this video, I would encourage you to snap a picture of you and your team. Maybe you're all gonna jump on Zoom together. Let the world know that you are state champions and you are participating in the National Personal Finance Challenge. It's a really big deal. So share it. Share it with your network of friends, and please tag us. So we're gonna use hashtag Finance Challenge and tweet at Voya or at the Council for Econ Ed. Include us and let us help share as well. All right, with that, I want to thank you. Good luck in this virtual competition. We'll see you all. Have a great day. Good luck.
Our country's financial inequities when it comes to race and gender are now front and center. These inequities are eroding social trust and even threatening the legitimacy of our economic system. While these problems have no easy solutions, there is a way to move the needle: education. The Council for Economic Education continues to expand its programs in lower and moderate income communities, recently offering a popular webinar on culturally responsive teaching.
Your classroom, the texts that you choose, how you teach it, all of that needs to be reflective of the people who you are serving.
Supporting our educators in engaging students of all backgrounds. And CEE is advocating for personal finance and economics requirements in every state. This is essential. In CEE's 2020 survey of the states, we found that in states without requirements, there is a nearly 16-point gap in access to financial education between kids from lower income families and those from wealthier families. And recently, Raj Chetty, a Harvard economist, confirmed these results in a massive study that showed Black and other minority families are generationally excluded from the American dream.
The purple dots are for Black kids. The green dots are for white kids. And you see what I think is a really disturbing pattern about America, which is if you look at the purple dots, they tend to cascade towards the bottom. So even if you grew up in a high-income family, you have a tremendously high chance of ending up even, in the bottom fifth or certainly in the lower middle class.
The Council for Economic Education is committed to expanding access to those who need it most, helping to change the financial imbalances that plague our nation.
I really want to applaud the work that the Council on Economic Education does. I think it's essential, as important as the traditional 3 R's, that students, by the time they're in high school, have some training in personal finance and also in economics more broadly.